Hello everyone, this is your Daily Dose of Science. The reason Wednesday's solar eclipse looks so perfect is actually kind of insane. Our sun is roughly 400 times wider than the moon and about 400 times farther away from Earth. Because those two numbers are so similar, the sun and moon appear almost exactly the same size in our sky. So when the moon passes directly between us and the sun, it can completely cover its surface while still leaving the large solar corona visible around the edge. But this perfect match won't last forever. The moon is slowly moving away from Earth by about 3.8 centimeters every year, meaning that hundreds of millions of years from now, it will eventually appear too small to completely cover the sun. We happen to be alive during a relatively brief period in Earth's history where total solar eclipses can look this perfect, which I think's kinda awesome. This guy is comparing the levels of radiation emitted by uranium and radium. Listen to the difference. This young inventor turned an RC car remote into a wearable controller that he can operate using just his fingers. Each finger is connected by a string to a different control, allowing him to accelerate, reverse, and steer the car with different hand movements.
Explain it to me, Honor.
I pull my thumb down to go forward, then I put my middle finger down and my index finger up to go left, and then do the opposite to go right.
All right. And put your arm down there so I can see your arm as you do it. All right, go for it.
NASA captured this incredible footage during Wednesday's solar eclipse. At the peak of the eclipse, this bright structure could be seen extending from the left side of the sun. This is a solar prominence, which is a huge structure of plasma held above the sun's surface by powerful magnetic fields. They can extend anywhere from around 60,000 to 600,000 kilometers. You can even see it in this footage captured from Mallorca, visible as this tiny orange spot on the edge of the sun. This plane was landing while a layer of fog was sitting just above the runway, making its wake turbulence clearly visible. Wake turbulence is the disturbed air left behind a plane as its wings generate lift, creating two powerful rotating currents of air known as wingtip vortices. Normally these are completely invisible, but the fog allows you to actually see the air swirling behind the plane. This guy built his own cloud chamber that allows you to actually see the paths of radioactive particles. It works by creating a layer of supersaturated alcohol vapor. When charged particles from this piece of uranium ore travel through the chamber, they ionize molecules in the air, causing tiny droplets to condense along their path. This creates these visible trails, allowing you to watch radiation that would normally be completely invisible. This person found a creative way to view the solar eclipse using a disco ball. Each of the tiny mirrors on the ball acts almost like a miniature projector, reflecting an image of the sun onto the surrounding walls. So, as the moon passed in front of the sun, the disco ball projected dozens of tiny images of the eclipse all around the room. This simple experiment demonstrates how electricity can be transferred without any physical connection. An alternating current running through the large outer coil creates a changing magnetic field. When the smaller coil is placed inside that field, a voltage is induced in the wire, providing enough power to light up the LED. This is electromagnetic induction, and the same basic principle is used in wireless chargers. As the solar eclipse reached its peak over Cambridge in England, the sudden change in light caused these birds to start behaving unusually. Birds rely heavily on changes in daylight to regulate their daily routines, so an eclipse can temporarily disrupt these natural cues. This bee is doing something most people don't realize is possible. When a bee stings us, the tiny barbs on its stinger can become stuck in our skin. If the bee tries to immediately fly away, the stinger can tear away from its body, eventually killing it. But by slowly rotating around the sting, this bee is able to work the barbs free, allowing it to pull out its stinger and fly away unharmed.
This was one of my first beekeeping lessons, that this can happen, bees can do this, and that it's a metaphor for life. You know, often we feel stung and in great pain, and we lash out and cause a worse situation. But if we try and endure the pain and relax, and it's so much easier said than done, then misadventure can be avoided, and in this situation, life can be saved.
If you've ever wondered what astronauts actually get up to whilst they're in space, this next clip is for you.
Our mission is research and science. We have experiments mounted on the outside of the station that are looking at Earth, and each has different sensors measuring different things. We study our own bodies and how they react to space, to weightlessness, to radiation, to all the different things up here. And that helps not only us go on further in future missions, but also helps for medical research back home.
I recently shared a video of someone controlling a video game using an EEG headset. A few people were wondering how it worked, so I found this video explaining how the headset actually reads what's happening inside your brain.
What it actually does is record the voltage fluctuations emitted by my brain via 14 electrodes in different areas. This technology is called electroencephalography, or EEG for short. Anyways, the felt pads are soaked in saline, which picks up the signal from my brain and passes it to a gold electrode in contact with the headset, where it is then run through an amplifier into something more readable. It's what we can do with those recorded signals that things become even more interesting. The emotive software has a special feature that allows its user to record a unique thought across multiple sessions and attribute it to a certain command.
So, if you were ever wondering, these are some of the things astronauts eat in space.
Aboard the International Space Station, food pouches are always an option, while other items rely on using a chiller or adding water to heat a meal. Food scientists at NASA have created menus that offer variety, nutrition, and taste. For meals, tortillas are a daily staple. Bread creates crumb problems, but tortillas are less crumbly. They also last up to 18 months, and they're mold resistant. In 2024, crew members consumed over 3,100 tortillas for tacos, space burgers, pizzas, and more.
I found this cool video explaining why the Perseid meteor shower always happens at the same time every year.
The sun right here, and I have the Earth right here. And of course, you know, the Earth goes around the sun. That takes 1 year. Meteor showers are caused by comets. And the Perseids is caused by one comet. It's called Comet Swift-Tuttle. And so here is that comet. And I'm just going to zoom out here, and you can see how much bigger this orbit of this comet is compared to the Earth. So this comet takes 133 years to go around the sun. Sometimes it's really far away, sometimes it's really close, very elliptical. And as comets are going around the sun, little bits of rock and ice and dust from that comet break off. And they sort of leave a trail, a carpet trail behind them. So that is what this line actually is, little bits of particles from that comet. I'm going to start time here. So we are in May, getting into June, and I'll sort of zoom in for you here. And you can see during August, Earth is passing inside of this debris trail. And we are in the start of August, so little bits of particles are hitting our atmosphere, and little bits of rock and ice and dust, and that's what causes those bright flashes, those meteors to hit us.
And here's a video of the meteor shower that was captured in Japan.
Every single time I step onto a bus in the summer, I finally get what quantum physics is all about. Until I board, I'm a cool professorial particle enjoying the breeze. As soon as I step inside one of these self-moving ovens, I melt into a wave of pure misery. The moment I step out, I'm back to being a particle, damp, wilted, yet a bit relieved. Waiting for transport is definitely either Heisenberg or Schrodinger's bus. Google Maps insists that the 44 is here, but the display at the stop claims that it is 7.5 minutes away. The bus is in a state of quantum superposition. It is simultaneously arriving and still broken down in Vauxhall.
That is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Later.